In this class, we will learn the first Mishna in Perek Hakoines, which is a Masechtas Bava Kama on Daf Nun Hey Amud Beis. Let's begin. Hakoines tzein ladir, somebody who brings in the sheep to their holding pen. V'nal b'fanei karoi, and he locked in front of the sheep properly. He locked the fence, the pen properly. V'yotza v'hizika, and the sheep went out and caused damage. Pater, he's not responsible for the damage because he behaved in the proper way of being responsible and closing the pen properly. Loinal b'fanei karoi, if he didn't lock in front of the sheep properly, he didn't lock the holding pen. V'yotza v'hizika, and the sheep went out and caused damage. Chayiv, he's chayiv to pay for the damage because he wasn't responsible in the way that he watched over the sheep. The Mishnah continues, Nifritza balayla, if the holding pen broke in the middle of the night, Oisha Pertzua listim, or if robbers broke the holding pen, V'yotza v'hizika, and the sheep went out and caused damage, Pater, he's not responsible because it was something that didn't come from his being irresponsible. He closed it properly, but it broke at night, or robbers broke it open. Listim, if the robbers actually took out the sheep, listim chayav, then the robbers are responsible for the damage that the sheep caused. The Mishnah continues, if the person placed the sheep in the sun, or if he gave it over to somebody who's a deaf mute, somebody who is not fully sane, or to a child, a minor. So either he was being irresponsible and he left it in the sun and this animal is now in pain and it wants to escape the holding pen, or if he gave it over to individuals that cannot be held responsible to properly watch over the sheep, v'yotza v'yizika, and the sheep went out and caused damage, chayiv, he's responsible, he's chayiv for the damage. Mesara l'roya, if he gave it over to a shepherd who is an adult, nichnas haroya tachtav, the shepherd takes his place. In other words, just like he, the owner, was originally chayiv and responsible for any damage the sheep caused, now that passes over to the shepherd, he takes that responsibility. The Mishnah continues, Naflo lagina venanis, if the sheep fell into a garden and benefited from this fall, and the Gemara will explain how it benefited. So if it fell into a garden and benefited from it, and it fell by accident, Mishalemes mashananis, it pays, the person pays for what the animal benefited. Since in this case, the person was not irresponsible, he was being careful, but it was an accident, therefore he should really be putter. However, since the animal benefited, the person has to pay for that benefit. So he doesn't pay for the full damage, he pays for the benefit. So an example would be, if the animal ate expensive produce, the person doesn't pay for that expensive produce, he'll only pay for a cheap meal that he would have fed his animal, because he saved that meal now since the animal ate something else. Yarda kedarka v'yizika, if the animal went down normally and caused damage, that means it wasn't an accident, it didn't fall into the garden, but rather it just went down in a normal way, because the owner wasn't being responsible. So then he's going to be fully liable. Mishalemes mashe yizika. He pays for everything that the animal damaged. Keitzan mishalemes mashe yizika. How does the person pay for what the animal damaged? How does he go about paying for it? Let's say the animal ate a small area of a field. Does the person pay for that area as if it was being sold on the market? So the Mishnah explains, Shaman beis sa'ah ba'is sada. We evaluate an area which is a beis sa'ah in that field. We estimate how much would that be sold on the market. Kama hoysa yafa, v'kama hi yafa, how much it was worth before the animal ate from it, and how much it's currently worth. So we don't look at the area that was eaten and then see how much it would be sold for on the market, but rather we estimate a larger area, see how much it could have been sold before the animal ate, how much it's sold now after the animal ate, and that's the amount that the owner of the animal pays. And it comes out to a smaller amount, because when individual items are sold, they're sold for more than when they're part of something bigger. This is the opinion of the Tanna Kama. Rabbi Shimon Eimer, Ochla Peres Gemurim. Rabbi Shimon says if the animal ate fully ripe produce, so if it wasn't fully ripe, it was in the growing process, he agrees with the Tanna Kama. However, if the produce was fully ready and was fully ripe, then Mishalemes Peres Gemurim, the person pays for complete, fully ripe produce. We're not going to say we see it as part of a bigger area, no, rather we say how much would this be sold on the market. Im sa'ah, sa'ah, im sa'ayim, sa'ayim. If it was a sa'ah, he pays a sa'ah. If it was two sa'ah, he pays two sa'ah. So it comes out that the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Shimon agree that if the produce wasn't fully ripe, then we're not going to pay for them individually as if they're sold on the market, but rather as part of a bigger area, the size of a sa'ah. However, if the produce is fully ripe, then they argue. The Tanna Kama says we still don't look at it as sold individually, but rather as part of a bigger area of a sa'ah. And Rabbi Shimon says that then we're going to look at them, since they're ripe, as if they're sold individually in the market, and the person, the owner of the sheep, will have to pay that amount. And with that, we finished the Mishnah. So it consists of 4 parts. First, the person properly watching over his animal, then giving over that responsibility to others, whether it was robbers or a responsible adult. Then we looked and the person was careless, leaving it in the sun, or if the person gave it over to individuals that cannot be responsible. And the last and final part is the payment, whether the animal, whether he pays for what the animal benefited since it was an accident, or he pays the full amount since he was irresponsible. And then within that, how does he pay the full amount? Does he pay for the thing itself or as part of a larger area?